Going over to question 22, the prompt is telling us that this is a grammar question, and let's start reading. The lifespans of rockfish vary greatly by species. For instance, the colorful calico rockfish can survive for little over a decade, while the rough-eye rockfish boasts a maximum lifespan of about 2 centuries. So we have a sentence where we have a modifier in the beginning. Remember, every clause needs a subject and a verb. The subject and verb in red is the rockfish can survive. So that's our independent clause there. That's the main part of our sentence. The calico rockfish can survive for little over a decade. That part is an independent clause. Now, the next part is another independent clause. The rough-eye rockfish boasts a maximum lifespan of about 2 centuries. So we have 2 independent clauses here. And there are 2 ways to join 2 independent clauses. You can join them with a semicolon, John jumped, semicolon, he fell, or a comma, fanboys, John jumped, comma, and he fell. What's interesting is that in this question, we're going to present the rule to you, and the question itself is kind of a bending of the rule. In any case, when you're joining 2 independent clauses, you need to know the names of the 3 errors. A fused sentence would be if you only used the fanboys, John jumped and he fell, with no comma. A comma splice would be just a comma, John jumped, comma, he fell. And a run-on would be nothing in between, John jumped, he fell. So we're joining 2 independent clauses, and the rule that we're going to kind of utilize here is that you need a comma and a fanboys. Fanboys words are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. So what's interesting here is that we're not using any of those words. We're using the word while. And it's kind of a stretching of the rule. But the word while really is functioning just like a fanboys, so it's really not that much of a problem. In red, the colorful calico rockfish can survive for little over a decade, comma, while the rough-eye rockfish boasts a maximum lifespan of about 2 centuries. So even though it's a slight bending of the rule, the answer is going to be D. We can't pick C because the word while destroys the 2 independent clauses you would need. If I have while at the front, then I can't just call the second part a straight independent clause, including the word while. So this breaks the rule of a semicolon very forcefully. Because the green part is not its own independent clause, we also can't put a period. And we're also not going to pick A because this does not fit the definition of a colon. The first part, the part in red, is not an independent clause that the next part is describing. Instead, we're getting 2 different examples. One rockfish does something while the other rockfish does something else. So here is our definition for the colon, that the first part has to be an independent clause and the second part has to be something describing the first part. If you have 2 kind of separate statements given in a list, then you definitely can't use a colon, and that's what messes up answer choice A for us. So the answer for 22, with a little bending of the rule here, is D.